All right, what's up, my good people, and welcome back in to the Bully Ball Show on Sparks TV. As always, I'm your host, Nino Sparks, aka the Mid Range Bully. Now, quick vid for you today. Not gonna take up too much of your time, your precious time. I know you got things to do, even in a rainy day. Now, figured I'd just jump in real quick and weigh in on the Philadelphia 76ers, who just lost the game to the Brooklyn Nets, of all people, of all teams. Brooklyn Nets beat them, I think, 100 to 96, and what was pretty much just a bad game and just bad to watch. The Sixers are currently sitting in the 11th seed at 20 and 34 on the season. But that's not even the biggest takeaway. The biggest takeaway from this is everybody jumping on Paul George, who in 36 minutes scored 2 points when I think, what was he, 0 and 7 from the field, or no, not 0 and 7, 0 and 5 from three. Just a bad game, and hasn't looked himself all season. And I think there's three different conversations that need to be had. It's the trust the process with Joel Embiid. It's the Paul George signing, and that possibly being the worst signing. It went from being the win of free agency to now possibly being the worst signing in NBA history. And then there's the Tyrese Maxey thing, and these are three different conversations that I want to break down all, and I'm gonna try to keep it at about 10 to 15 minutes for y'all. But as always, before we get started, if it's your first time tapping in, or maybe you tapped in before, go ahead, tap that like, tap that subscribe, tap that notification bell, stay tapped in. Let's get this shit. Okay, so 76ers. 76ers are just a tragic disappointment. Now, they did have what, like we said, it was the signing of the top free agent. They went and got him. They went and got their guy. They didn't hesitate. They put together a team, and it looked like, could it be Boston, Sixers, and then the Knicks? Then the Knicks went and got Cat, and they kind of jumped them. And then it was, we knew the top four teams we expected to be the Celtics, the Knicks, the Sixers, and the Bucks. However you wanted to throw them in there. Nobody's seen Cleveland coming out of nowhere being the one seed, and we've seen enough to know that they're legit. But the Sixers, it's tragically disappointing because you're nowhere near any of those other teams, in my opinion. Even if you were to retool, what we're gonna probably see is them, try to make a run, and then they're gonna blame everything on injuries. Oh, if we were healthy, if we had all our guys, we're given, and that's gonna be a reason to drag this in the next season and run it all back one more again. And really, what you're doing is you're wasting Tyrese Maxey's prime and his time. Because what you should be doing is building around that guy, building around the guy that is healthy, even though he's not playing right now, but building around the guy that's been healthy, the guy that has been playing. This Joel Embiid thing, and that's the first thing we're going to touch on. The Joel Embiid, this process. The process has been processed for years now. It's been a wrap. We've seen it enough. We've seen what they looked like under Brett Brown. We've seen what him and Ben Simmons look like as a duo. That's done. Him and Joel Embiid and Jimmy Butler, that's done. You go get James Harden and Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid wins the MVP. That doesn't get you anything. Then you got your star point guard in James Harden calling the GM a liar. I don't know if I've ever seen that one. Saying that he's a liar and I'll never be a part of any organization that he's a part of. So you got to get rid of that guy. Now you pivot to Tyrese Maxey. He has an all-star breakout season, which most of us expected. Now it's like, okay, now it's Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey show. Let's go get them a guy. You bring in Paul George. He's supposed to be that guy. I think the Joel Embiid tenure is up now, and it's okay. Hasn't been a perfect marriage, but you tried. You tried on both sides. Joel Embiid, he tried as much as he could, gave you as much as he could. He got an MVP out of it. He just couldn't get it done. Couldn't get it done with Ben Simmons and Brett Brown. Who was the coach after that? I can't remember. You couldn't get it done. Was it Doc Rivers? You couldn't get it done with that guy. Couldn't get it done with James Harden. Or you blame Ben Simmons on his way out. It was his fault. Then you bring in James Harden. Oh, we need the Houston James, not this James. You get Doc up out of there. James is up out of there. Bring in Nick Nurse. What's next? It's over. And it's okay for it to be over. Because the problem is you drag this into next season. Joel Embiid has already said he's not playing as many games as he played. What was it? He was 65 to win the MVP. He's not going to play that many games no more. Now you got to worry, can we get 50 games out of him in a playoff run? That's pie in the sky. Which is crazy. Because we're not talking about a dude that's 30. He ain't 40 like LeBron. Remember, this dude missed the whole first year of his, the whole first, I think he missed damn near like, we didn't see him on the court till like 3 years in his career. So how much do you really think he has left? You're going to run this back for what? For him to be hurt, limping in the next season? Even if you make the playoffs, how far do you think you're going to get? To get bounced and now he's a year older? Value a year more diminished. I think it's time to cash out. Same way Lakers cashed out on Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis, as hurt as he's been, he ain't nearly as hurt as Joel Embiid. At least he'd be ready for the playoffs. Hell, you might have been better off trying to go get AD. Imagine what AD and Maxey would look like. As great as Joel Embiid is, like I said in the last video, he's the only person that can fuck with Yoke. When we talking about going head to head, as good as Karl Anthony Towns has been this season, as good as I said he was going to play this season, like I said, when healthy, Karl Anthony Towns is legitimately the third best center in the league. You got Yoke, you got Embiid, you got Karl Anthony Towns. Now you can make the case that he's the second best. But the only person that could actually fuck with Yoke is Joel Embiid, which is why Team USA made sure they had to go get him. When they already had Bam Adebayo, they already had Anthony Davis. They knew, hey, we need this guy for one game. And what did he do? He showed up in that one game, got in Yoke's ass. But can you say moving forward, are we ever going to see him versus Yoke in the finals? I highly doubt it. I don't think so. Not in the Sixers uniform. Not as presently constructed. That ain't happening. The Knicks ain't going nowhere. They going to be better next season. Celtics ain't going nowhere. They going to stay in the mix. As long as they got them two guys, they going to be in the mix for the next 5 seasons. I don't know if they going to be able to keep them dudes together that long. They're definitely not going to be able to keep that whole unit together that long. But they're going to be in the mix for the next 5 seasons. Can you say the same about the Sixers? We already 9 minutes in. I ain't even got to my other 2 topics yet. It's time to cash in on Joel Embiid this offseason. See what you can get. I think the asking price needs to be reasonable. And what is reasonable? Hey, we need a young star player in return and 2 first-round picks. Maybe you could even squeeze in a second-round pick. And then you package in PG, who I'm about to get to in a minute. You package him in with a Kelly Oubre who's played good for you. It'd be nice to keep him. But PG straight up, I don't know if you're getting anything for him. But if you package him in with a couple of guys, and then it's time to build around Tyrese Maxey and Jared McCain. That's your backcourt use moving forward. That's your future moving forward. You keep a Yabusele, who's played good for you. Maybe you keep a Drummond. I don't know if he's still on the roster. It's time to change the whole thing. This trust is processed. It's over with. Which brings me to Paul George. PG. 2 points in 36 minutes. Now, this is my problem with PG, who I like. But I think it's a few things with PG that we need to unpack. Number one, you got greedy. You did. You felt like the Clippers was disrespecting you by not giving you that 4th year. This is why they didn't want to give you that 4th year, my brother. You should have took what they was gonna give you. You going into a new stadium. Kawhi gonna be back. You can hold down the floor with James Harden until you. That seemed like you with them. Hell, the Clippers in the 6th spot. Where would they be if they had you? You'd be better off staying where you was at. You in the 11th seed in Philadelphia. I ain't never been to Philadelphia. I heard it's a great place. I know they weather ain't nothing like ours. It's raining right now. It's shitty weather right now. But it ain't as bad as Philly. I know that. It ain't snowing and shit. Another month, it's gonna be clear blue skies. But you got greedy. You went for the bag, and now look what you got to show for it. Even if y'all run it back next season, what are y'all gonna do? Nothing. Which brings me to my next point about PG. Y'all young kids, I dig it, but y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop. Because I don't think y'all comprehend what the word GOAT means. The word GOAT is an acronym. I think y'all think it's just the word GOAT. I think y'all think it's a term of endearment for the guy you like the most. Now, why is that? There's nothing wrong with rooting for the guy that looks like you. Just like I said, a lot of these white analysts trying to proclaim Yoke the MVP every year. We get it. It's the great white hope. There's nothing wrong with rooting for the guy that looks like you. But we got to be logical. And some of y'all young kids is illogical by calling this man the GOAT. He ain't never been cut like that. He not cut from that Kobe cloth. You're not cut from that Jordan cloth. You're not cut from that LeBron cloth. You're not cut from that KD cloth. No disrespect. You a good player. You're going to be remembered as a good player. You're not even a Hall of Famer, my boy. You've never been cut like that. Let's talk about the Pacers. You was on a good-ass team that couldn't get past LeBron. And that's no fault of your own. It's a lot of guys that couldn't get past LeBron. The Wizards had a good-ass team and couldn't do nothing with LeBron. The Toronto Raptors was winning games every year. You see, the 1 year that LeBron left, they won something. And they would have won it with DeRozan. The Chicago Bulls had the MVP and Derrick Rose couldn't do shit because of LeBron. The Knicks had Melo, J.R. Smith, Mon Shumpert, Taj Gibson, all them type niggas couldn't do shit because of LeBron. Hell, I think the Hawks was winning 50 games every season and couldn't do shit because of LeBron. So we're not going to hold that against you. But let's not act like you didn't have a squad. First off, that team wasn't even your team. You inherited that team from Danny Granger. Because Danny Granger was on the sideline, knees fucked up, life fucked up. And you stepped into that. They was putting you in the game on some 3-and-D shit. And you stepped into that spot. George Hill was balling. Lance Stevenson, balling. Roy Hibbert, balling. David West, balling. Front court was loaded. That's the squad. Yeah, CJ Miles off the bench, balling. Remember, he told CJ, I need that. When it come to that last shot, I need that one. And you still wasn't like that. Got up out of there. Your best chance of winning, was your next stop. You went to OKC. Should have stayed your ass there like you said you was gonna do. Oh, I'm here to stay, y'all. Remember that? Rush through you a whole block party. Oh, I'm here for good, y'all. I like to fish and shit. Got bounced by a rookie Donovan Mitchell and was like, you know what? I'm cool. Bonked out on Russ and ran with the guy Kawhi Leonard, who lucked up and ended up on a championship team that was already loaded. Load managed his way to the playoffs. Load managed his way to the finals. Now we can't. He did his thing when it was time to do his thing, so we can't take the championship from him. We can't put an asterisk on him. But that's the guy that you joined up with, and for the next 4 to 5 seasons, y'all was just kicking it. You might as well have been in retirement. Y'all didn't do a motherfucking thing. You didn't do nothing you said you was gonna do. You didn't even make it to a conference final, let alone the finals. Didn't do a motherfucking thing and had the audacity to want 4 years. No wonder they probably looked at you like you was crazy. Like, bro, you be glad if you get 2 years out of us. What have you done for us? What can we hang up in this new building that the so-called GOAT did for us? You must be crazy. And now you on the Sixers where you supposed to be the third guy. They ain't even asking you to be the second guy like with the Clippers. They ain't asking you to be the second guy like with OKC. They ain't asking you to be the man like with the Pacers. Can you just be better than Tobias Harris? You can't even do that. I done went over 15 minutes talking about your ass. So I'm going to wrap it up like this. You need to package Paul George, wrap him up, put a bow on him, and unfortunately, you're going to have to drag a Kelly Oubre and some of these other guys in there just to make it look nice and see what you can go get with that. Because your future is Tyrese Maxey. Your future is Jared McCain. You do this, you can be the Knicks in the next 2 seasons. Next year, it'll be the Maxey show. Let's see how far that can go. I bet you that'll get you farther than the 11th seed. This way, you ain't even making a play in. Even if you do, what are you going to do? Make the play in to do what? Because even if you make the playoffs, you're going to have a first round matchup with the Cavs. That's over in 4. That's over in 4. Easy. It's time to pack this up, Sixers. I know you've trusted the process. Y'all been faithful. It ain't like y'all went from really being terrible to being what the Detroit Pistons were last year. Y'all was worse than that. Y'all was historically bad for a minute. To then being in the mix. And now what was supposed to be your championship window has closed like that. Because you hitched your wagon to a dude that's on 4 flats like a Cadillac. And Joel Embiid and the dude riding passengers, not that much better. But that's all I got for free. Y'all let me know what y'all think about the Philadelphia 76ers. Do y'all think, hey, it's just injuries, give them 1 more year, see what they look like? When everybody's healthy, clicking on all cylinders, if they can get to that level? Do you think they'd be right back in the mix? Even with them 3, are they on the level of a Sixers? A level of a Celtics? Are they on the level of a Knicks? Are they on the level of a Cavaliers who have shown us that they're legit? Or should they wrap this shit up? Are y'all tired of seeing the so-called process? Does it need to be a new day in Philly? I think they fan base deserves better. Even though the Eagles just won it, man, I can't stand it. I'm a Cowboy fan. I ain't going to go in on the Eagles. Y'all won it. I'm going to let you have your moment. I can't even bring up my team as bad as we've been. Hell, you could make the case the Sixers been just as bad as my Cowboys. Looks good on paper and tragically disappointing every season. At some point, we're going to be disappointed. That's the perfect analogy as much as it hurts. Y'all let me know. I'm going to tap back in later. Peace.